Right, well, welcome to the offices of the Andover Advertiser. And here we are today with Reg Presley, Colin Andrews, and a camera crew. A bit like Spinal Tap, this is, isn't it? Yes. Rock and roll, I think, as they say in Spinal Tap, but maybe it should be walk and roll, but that was quite good, I thought. It's definitely, definitely this way, definitely this way. So, Reg, what are we doing here today, Reg? Reg, what are we doing here today?
Well, this is the start of a tour by Professor Chang, who is from the Taiwan, well, not government, but...
he's a scientist. Is he
he's a scientist, yes. And he's been sponsored to come over here and find out exactly what's going on with crop formations, UFOs, and anything in connection with that. Mm-hmm. We're now going into the Andover Advertiser. It's a local paper, and
we're going to meet with Ken Dyke, I think somebody said, the editor.
We're going to get his opinion of what he thinks about it, which should be amusing. Yeah. And we'll go from there. But over the next few days, we'll be visiting several of the sites that have now got crop formations and everything. Yeah. And we shall see what develops.
Right.
Oh, you've got all this mob with you as well.
We've got Andover television covering Professor Chang.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, Reg. How are you?
Fine.
Hello, Ken. Good afternoon.
Hello, Al.
Oh,
How you doing?
This is Professor Chang.
How do you do,
From
Professor?
Taiwan, Republic of China.
Yeah.
He's one of the few people in the world that has a budget to actually thoroughly and properly investigate the phenomena which is occurring in and around, obviously, Andover and other parts of the world.
That's more than we can do, anyway.
It's true. It is true. So he has a team here.
Excuse me, sorry.
Sure.
and a camera crew behind him as well.
Hello.
And just come in, guys. Say hello. So, hi.
Just a moment. Can you ask him to ring back in about half an hour, 3/4 an hour? Many thanks.
So, we're going to be bringing the action from this live meeting, I guess, of Taiwanese camera crew, Colin Andrews and Reg. And Ken Dyke's over there.
With an open mind, looking at the whole phenomena. And we're in the Andover area for 10 days.
Yeah.
What I thought, and I do thank you personally, obviously,
Not at
for
all. Not at all.
breaking straight into your office like this,
Not at all.
is to have maybe some feedback or some opinion of your own. I mean, I know we have been in personal communication.
Yes, we have, yeah.
But we do have a proliferation of patterns south of Andover and some out to the west towards Marlborough.
Mm-hmm.
And plants.
These are new season ones, are they?
They are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plants are actually on their way back to the States now, and we will be in a position, I think, within a couple of weeks to have some idea of whether we're looking at people, whether we're looking at something else.
Well, as you're probably aware, these phenomena of crop circles have been appearing in this part of the country for very many years now, 10, 15, perhaps even 20 years. And of course, in the early days, we would report these circles appearing because it was of tremendous local interest. But in recent years, so much has happened that we tend not to think of it too much as news, simply because we've seen it so many times before. The fact that there is evidence in this whole area of fairly extensive habitation by man over several thousands of years.
That's a very interesting point.
And that I believe is quite an interesting point.
It's a very interesting point. Actually, just before we left to come down here, I had a phone call from the States from Richard Hoagland, who's the consultant to NASA on the Mars mission. And they are about to go public in the next few weeks with information just recently secured for the Clementine project to the moon. They have discovered, it picks right up on your point, that an area which has been recently monitored by the American NASA projects have discovered what they believe to be a significant archaeological site on the moon. They have already are into the mathematics and the geometry, and that ties in specifically with the mathematics which we have already, I think, pretty well completed in the Avebury, Silbury Hill area. It's the archaeology of the area. And where Dick Hoagland has come into this, and he's been looking at it for about 10 years, is that the Sedona area of Mars, which is the information they secured there some years ago, has located features which look extremely similar to the pyramids. It is believed they've looked at the fractal imagery, which is the coming from the science of fractals, they're able to define that this is almost impossible to construct by nature.
So the human hand had something to do on Mars and on the Moon,
It seems that way.
as well as on Earth.
Well, that's the way it's currently looking.
People say, okay, well, it can't be extraterrestrial simply because no one's seen it being done. But then no one's actually seen the local farmers club doing it either.
That's true.
And apparently no one's seen those two guys with a piece of string doing it either.
Well,
so it's not difficult, really, to do it without being seen.
I think I
That's the
would make
big
a
mistake.
comment. I
Yeah.
understand
Yeah.
where you come from on that. But we have patterns as large as half a mile across,
Yeah.
appearing in very short nights, very close to major highways, some
Yeah.
of them, which certainly, having worked fairly closely a few years back with the British Army in trying to replicate some of the effects, one certainly is understanding that you would be looking at a large team of people.
Yeah.
Not to say that's impossible,
No.
of course. But we do have more than, I think it's about 76 people globally who claim to have seen the phenomenon actually occur.
Yeah.
I was asked by the United Nations when Reg flew over to the UN 2 years ago
2
now,
years ago, yeah.
and the professor was also with us from Taiwan, and a number of other countries involved in that particular lecture, and they asked me specifically to reinvestigate those people and those claims. And they are intriguing, they are often very innocent, intelligent, I think respected people,
Yeah.
but giving us one or two common features, and they are telling us, I think this is fair to say, of those 70-odd people, one or two of the agreeing features are these, that they are out in the right place at the right time, walking a dog or something, and they hear a buzzing. This is nearly always reported as a buzzing sound. They see oscillation at ground level. The plants are oscillating, only in a very small, well-defined area. And then, just like opening up the fan that a woman might use to cool herself with, from the center outwards, the spiral effect takes place, and in less than 15 seconds, and this is an agreeing feature throughout the whole range of people,
Yeah.
15 seconds, the pattern is there.
If you're a journalist, you are naturally a skeptic.
Gotta be. I understand.
You know, because we've seen it all before,
Yeah.
we've heard it all before. People come along and say, "Yeah, there's a terrific story. This is happening.
Yeah.
That's happening."
Then
and,
you look at
and I
facts.
say, "Okay, well, let's not get too excited. Let's see
Sure.
what develops. Let's look at all the details." And very often you'll find that what looks at first sight to be something very remarkable is sometimes something very ordinary.
Sure.
So journalists are skeptics,
Sure.
and that's part of their job, to be
Sure.
skeptics. We do accept that there is something happening out there. We don't know what it is. We'd like to know what it is. I'd like to know what it is. I'd like to get an exclusive and be able to tell the world what it is.
I think I can give you one.
Well, no, is this an offer, Colin?
Yes, it is.
Good.
This is absolutely hot off the press from Professor Lemongood in Michigan. And this is what he says. This is actually challenging the scientific world. There are common aspects among the anomalous features listed. They are not explainable within the current scientific paradigm. Now, this is one of the world's leading biophysicists for the first time saying, there's something here we can't account for.
No, which the public at large is going to want answered. Is this phenomenon then a naturally occurring thing, or is it not a naturally occurring thing?
It's fantastic. I mean, some of the stuff that we were shown on the video screen, as it were artifacts from a debris site of a crashed UFO, supposedly in 1947, and there are hieroglyphics written or stamped into the actual debris. These now are being sent across to America as well. They're going to be released actually in the next few days, so that more experts in language can get. It's getting there. It's just getting all this tied into something that we can all understand. You know? It's but.
There are,
What do you reckon?
yeah, well, I mean, I just to add to what Reg has said, there are primary building blocks in the crop circle phenomena itself. Those that we recognise that appear in the, once again, coming back to your earlier point, the indigenous people have left us information in their artwork for thousands of years.
Yeah.
We've been down, in the last 2 years, I've been twice to Australia to speak and look at the Aborigine work. This fits into his phenomena.
Right.
What sort of progress have you, if you feel you have made, Professor, with regard to the UFO?
Yeah. I think last year, the Taiwan UFO Research Association have invited Mr. Colin Andres to Taiwan for 10 days speech and the conference. And also, we also found the crop circle may be something related to Asian, Chinese, something symbols.
So there's
Yes.
a definite connection between the ancient
Yes.
Eastern
Yes.
Yeah.
civilizations and the ancient Western
Yes.
habitations.
So
in
we
this
think
area.
this is meaningful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why the Western and the Eastern
Yeah.
Asian culture something related.
Yeah.
This is why we come here
right.
to have a more detailed research.
Watched in any case.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there is a theory, perhaps, that maybe we were placed here by some higher entity, and they're having a look at us, and they keep coming back and see how we're doing. They kickstart us every time we sort of fumble, and I mean, there's loads of theories on it.
Yeah.
So when your editorial is late on a Wednesday night,
Yeah.
you've got a helping hand you don't know about.
So that's where it comes from.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for watching. I hope you found that interesting. We're going to bring you something really special next week as well from Danbury Ring, where there's several people coming over from America, Australia, scientists, and we'll get their views on certain things. Watch this space.